All right, we are back. We got Rob Zero still in the house. And so let's get to a little Rob Zero's world over on X. So there's a guy out there that's been, trolling me and guys like Rob Zero out there because we support a New York Giants taking a Shadure Sanders high in the draft in this upcoming NFL draft. And this little exchange right here, he says, what the F are you talking about, man? Some dog shit franchise is talking shit about a young man. Wow, that really says it all. Stop with the BS, bro. Now I know why you wanted Stafford so bad. So we are going to actually listen to what Miz was actually showing Rob Zero. Let's go into it.
The two people that I spoke to were in meetings and had these individual meetings that I just laid out to you, what they are, who's in there, and why they're important. Teams in the top 10 drafting that need a quarterback. The two people that I spoke to in these positions left the meeting feeling like Shadure Sanders was not overly concerned with what they thought of him. They had a 15-minute meeting with them, and when they were done, they both said in different ways, different words, that they did not feel like Shadure Sanders cared all that much about what that organization thought of him. Fascinating, right?
Right. And that's not said in any kind of a positive light, correctly. It wasn't like they came in there and he knew who he was and he wasn't concerned about impressing us. It's more of a negative tone, the way you're saying that, right? You're saying it in a way that he did not come in with, ready to impress, ready to show us what kind of a young man he is, what kind of a leader he can be, all of the positive things. That's what you're saying, correct?
This was not okay. I'll make a joke in a second. But I do. All right, so let's go through this in the right order. A couple of the quotes that I put in there. One said that it wasn't a professional approach. One person that I talked to said the best way I can describe it is it just wasn't it wasn't a professional approach. Shadure Sanders did not take a professional approach to this interview. The other person I talked to said he wasn't taking it seriously at all. I didn't get the sense that he was taking it seriously. So when you hear it wasn't a professional approach and you hear he wasn't taking it all that seriously, that's not the interview that you're looking. It's not the response you're looking for from a potential suitor, from somewhere you plan to go play. Now, I think it's also important because I'm sure people pull clips and have all sorts of things to say. It's very important, and hear me when I say this. There was no bad behavior. There was nothing disrespectful said or done. There was no kind of altercation. And it wasn't like Good Will Hunting when Ben Affleck went in for Matt Damon and put his feet up on the desk and yelled, "Retainer! Retainer!" Like, it wasn't that. So I'm not trying to overblow this to try to get clicks and people get, this is not a viral moment. I don't care about the attention this gets. It's just our job to relay the information and the intel that we're getting from people that are important and make decisions or part of the decision process from the teams that are looking to draft a quarterback and have a high draft pick.
So that was the clip that particular person sent to you and say, "Hi. Gotcha. You're talking about, I got you. This dude is overrated. He's not professional and blase. He wears a backwards hat and he says, I want to change the culture. If you're not ready to change the culture, don't draft me. I was a part of a team that came and changed Jackson State and Colorado, made them relevant, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." You have that reaction with that person, and I want you to just elaborate on what's the issue with you and this person, if there is an issue, and why do you think he did it?
I personally don't have an issue with the person per se. I have an issue with in the manner of which the person draws a conclusion, and in the manner of which they go at a specific player because they may not like that player for such and such reason, right? For instance, me and that person, along with the two of you, were in a setting just like this, talking about Bill Belichick and how Bill Belichick would be coming here, right? We even talked about Shadure Sanders, which I believe at that point he was on board with Shadure Sanders, right? Go get you a Shadure Sanders. Ba, 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 ba. Now it's he's overrated. He's outspoken. He's this. He's that. Now listen, if you over watching highlights or whatever grew a liking more for a Cam Ward, that's fine. But don't put down another guy like Shadure and say these outlandish things and then to prop up somebody else like a Cam Ward. And then to ask me in a DM, why do you hate Cam? I never said I hated Cam. I never said I hated Cam. Everything that I tweet out about these quarterbacks is go up to one, get Cam, get Shadure. Have your choice of either one of those two prospects. I'm good either way. I slightly lean Shadure because I like the way I like certain things about him. I like it that he plays the game from the pocket, but can extend the plays with his legs. I like the fact that he likes to speak out and say certain things. I like his swag, so to speak. That's not saying that Cam doesn't have swag or nothing, right? But I lean more Shadure. Don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I like his blowout afro that he's got going on, with his uptown fade. I don't know. Like whatever you want me to choose, I'll choose it. If you want something specific, right? I like his haircut over Cam Ward's, right? Whatever you need, you know what I mean? But don't put down this other guy when just a month or two ago you were for this guy. So what changed? And then, like the little old man in the Geico commercial dangling the dollar bill, Matthew Stafford is on the edge of a fucking fishing rod, and you got to be quicker than that. Like you jump on that like flies on shit, right? Like I don't get it. And this person, again, I don't have an issue with this person, but this person jumps on every possible, jumped all over Bill Belichick. I would talk about Bill. I didn't want Bill. Whenever I talked about Bill and him coming here, I talked about it from Mara's perspective, why I think Mara would do it. It's not what I want, but this is why Mara would do it. He was all for Bill Belichick coming in here. He was screaming for the heavens. The Drake May was the guy. The Drake May was the guy, blah, 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 blah. But meanwhile, Brian Dable, I love Jaden Daniels, right? Now, yeah, they attempted to go up there and get Drake May, but it is what it is, right? Then this year, it's go out there and win games with Daniel Jones, blah, blah, blah. You're not a real fan if you don't support the quarterback and this and that or whatever. And then it changed when we started losing. You realized the dude was dog shit. All these guys or whatever. Then the GM and the coach are bad. Oh, were they here? Let them get their quarterback. They deserve it. They this, they that. Like, what are we doing? Like, your opinion changes like a woman on her period changes her tampon. That's what it is. It's like pick what it is Pick what you want and go with it. And go with it. Right? You can get you can have an opinion and you could talk to somebody and they say, "Oh, you know what? I didn't look at it from that viewpoint." You know what? When you bring that up, it gets me thinking a little bit. You know what? You're right. You know what? You're right. It doesn't make sense. Or vice versa. You can do that. That's not against the rules. But when you find a new, it's like finding a new itch to scratch every fucking week.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, like what's going to be the scratch next? Like the Vikings aren't tagging Sam Darnold. That just came out. Is Sam Darnold going to be your new itch? We should go get Sam Darnold. We should sign him. Look at what he did with Minnesota. We should sign Sam Darnold. He could be the guy, right? Bring him back to New York. The Giants, they'll treat him right, unlike the Jets. Yeah, all right. Yeah, okay. Like, so I don't vibe with that. I don't get down with that. So I call BS on it. And then I found something else where you had I think it's Emery Hunt or Hunt Emery or something like that, saying he spoke with multiple executives who raved about Shadure Sanders, raved about his interviews, raved about what he said at the podium, raved about all of it, and this and that. And so I tagged him on that. I said, what about this? What do you got to say about this? You've got somebody else now that's saying, I spoke with executives and they love him. They don't got a problem with it. He did a great job. They're all for it. Are they full of shit? And let's be real, because we had these conversations. I think the media part, if I'm wrong, correct me. I think the media, access to the media comes before you sit down with the teams, or maybe it's afterwards. I don't know. But if I had to guess, I would say, because we had these discussions, those teams that probably made those comments to Todd McShay are probably teams he don't want to fucking go to. And that's probably his way of kind of like saying,
You know, those teams are at the bottom of the draft. They're not out of the top 10, out of the top 6, 7. Deion Sanders did the same thing. He's like, "Oh, you number 26? Well, I'm not going to be there."
Todd said that they were in the top 10.
They were in the top 10, so...
And Josina Anderson also said top 7. You know, that some people had negative things to say within the top 7. Well, the teams that are in the top 7 that need a quarterback, Titans, Browns, us, Jets, Vegas. That's it.
So you know it's not Vegas. You know it's not us.
I don't know if it's not Vegas. I don't know if it's not Vegas.
Oh, Tom Brady's at Vegas. That's his boy. So I know it's not Vegas.
I don't know. I don't believe that it's us, just because I spoke with somebody and they told me specifically that Brian Dable has spent the most amount of time.
That's a fact.
With Shadure.
Yeah.
That's his guy. He likes Shadure. That doesn't mean he don't like Cam, but they had more access to Shadure. He was at the Shrine Bowl. Cam was not there. This is the first time that they were able to get around Cam other than going to games. Dable's not going to college games during the season. He's focusing on coaching. Joe Shane only went to a couple of games, which he said. He's probably watched film. But I know Shea Tierney's probably been around him a little bit. But I know Brandon Brown's probably been around there. Tim McDonald's probably been around. They've been to those games. Those guys have been and seen more of Cam than Joe Shane has. So now you've got an opportunity to get in front of him, talk to him. And now I'm starting to see, Giants, they're going to trade up to 1. Cam Ward. You're starting to see these little tweets and these little things coming up. He wasn't. I guarantee you would have been hearing this stuff if Cam was at the Senior or the Shrine Bowl. You would have heard it. You would have heard it because they would have been there and they would have been talking to him. But Shadure was there. So what do you expect? You know what I'm saying? They just saw him 3 weeks ago, And now you're at the combine and he's there again. You know, like, it's like, oh, man, what's up, man? Like, it's like, dude, come on. So, but I heard that Brian Dable likes Shadure, and he spent the most amount of time with Shadure Sanders. So, and the other thing to this is, I get why people say that Cam is a better fit for what Brian Dable wants to do. And I think they're basing that off of the 2 years with Daniel Jones, the running and the RPOs and the read option, all that stuff. But why would they want to bring in Aaron Rodgers, who's not really a mobile quarterback? Why would they be intrigued on that? Why would they want to bring in a guy like Matthew Stafford, who's not really a mobile quarterback, who is a pocket guy? What does Shadure do? He's decisive in the pocket. He can dissect a play. He understands. He plays the same way. So I don't think there really is a preference. I think fans want to make a preference on who fits what, but and they may have a favorite. That very well may be true. They may say we like Cam because of his versatility. It gives us another. I ain't gonna be the one to say no, right? I mean, shit, that'd be good for us. Cam being able to run the ball, Tracy in the backfield. Hell yeah, sign me up. But you know what else helps your running back? A quarterback in the pocket that knows how to dissect the play, who knows how to check from a pass to a run, or from a run to a pass, or that can read a defense and dissect shit real quick. That helps out everybody. Helps out your line, helps out everything. So everybody wants to make their own little things, and that's fine, but you don't need to tear down. And then you hear people saying, oh, well, John Mara, he doesn't want Shadure because, 20 years ago, they wanted to give Deion Sanders some fucking test and he didn't want to do it. So, John Mara has a bitter taste in his mouth. Fuck Shadure. Fuck Deion. He doesn't want no part of it. Blah, blah, blah. Like, do you really think that he gives a flying fuck that Deion didn't want to take a test when he was coming out in the draft?
It's dumb, bro.
It's
dumb.
Like the stupidest fucking things ever, that you can make up. It's so dumb. Look, at the end of the day, I don't know what these guys are going to do. I really don't. These guys are dumb. They do stupid shit. So I don't know what they're going to do. They may very well walk into this draft and say, you know what? We signed Aaron Rodgers. We got Devontae Adams. Fuck it. We're going to take Travis Hunter. They may very well do that. They may. And you know what? I hope that they pay the fucking price for it. Because at that point, at that fucking point, I hope that what happened with the Jets, that this motherfucker comes in here and implodes this fucking organization and goes on the Pat McAfee show and sells you guys like a cow at an auction and sells you guys fucking off, dude. I hope he does. So, but at the end of the day, my heart of hearts tells me they're trying to cover all of the bases. They're trying to get a guy that's going to win games right now, but they also want to set themselves up for the future and provide a plan to John Mara. And ultimately, I think that's what happens.
All right, man, you've been hearing it from Rob, man. We're going to take one more commercial break, and we're going to get Rob's last thoughts to wrap up this episode of Talk Your Talk with Mr. Rob Zero, man. It's not safe for him in these X streets out here, man. But
nah, man, I'm fighting for my life. Fighting for my life, man.
But we're going to take this quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Full episode on the Aboriginal Sports Network.